What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a little bit of a look at all of the alternate art leaders from OP-09, the new Emperor. Now, what is important here is that we know, well, firstly, all of them, that's pretty good, but if we start with Nico Robin here, we know the type of alternate art leader we're getting. Because, of course, this changes set to set. We don't have the same kind of alt art leader every time around, and we're going back here to what we had a little while ago, but this is where it gets a little bit awkward. We're going back to Manga Heads, but when I say Manga Heads, I mean proper Manga Heads, not what we've had a bit more recently. So if we have a look at OP-08, for instance, the most recent set, if we have a look at Marco, this is the one that I was lucky enough to pull from one of my Japanese OP-08 boxes. This is a manga head, but it's not actually a manga head, because we can see there that it's got artwork, and it's brand new artwork. It's not artwork from the manga. It's Jack, I think. That's the artist. So it's like a manga head, but it doesn't have manga artwork because it's not literally taken from the manga. The last time we had actual proper job full-on manga heads with actual proper job full-on manga artwork was OP-05. And I did pull a couple of these, but they were not the best. But let's go for Sabo. I pulled a Sabo. I like Sabo. And that's different because that's actual manga artwork. When we say manga heads, it is literally taken from a panel of the manga. Lovely. That's what we've gone back to. As a little bit of a refresher, back in OP-01, we had full-on proper job manga heads. Take Trafalgar Law. Pulled that one in Korean, that was fun. In OP-02, we had full-on manga heads with full-on manga artwork. I didn't actually pull the Smoker here, but I'm showing you Smoker because clearly my favourite among them. I need to pick that one up before it gets ridiculous. In OP-03, we switched to, I don't know, the white and colour versions. I don't know exactly how to phrase these, honestly. Let's show Iceberg, because who doesn't love Iceberg? And these are weird and unique. We've not gone back to OP-03. I don't know if that means anything, but it's been a while. We've had 7 sets now since OP-03, and we've not had a return to this style of alternate art leader. I think that's interesting. In OP-04, we went to the really cool style. Let's see, Rebecca here. Pull that one in Japanese. And it's a really cool card. Love this card. Where you've got the leader and their kind of crew behind them, which I still think this is the optimal version of alternate art leaders. OP-05, as mentioned, we went to manga heads. And until OP-09, it was the last time we had full-on manga heads. In OP-06, we changed to the pseudo manga head. Let's use Perona, blatantly the best leader. Got this one in Japanese on a Whatnot stream. Oh, while we're here, I'm doing a Whatnot stream on Thursday. On Thursday, we're doing a Whatnot stream. We're going to be cracking some boxes. I've not done a Whatnot stream for a little while. We're going to be cracking some boxes. Might be doing some promos as well. So everyone come along on Thursday. Whatnot.com/invite/thewassie. We've taken a bit of a break from Whatnot. We're coming back on Thursday. It's going to be awesome. Seriously, come on Thursday. It's going to be great. Really excited. So we had on OP-06 the pseudo manga heads, which were the same kind of artwork, but done by proper artists. But then in EB-01, we went back to the OP-04 style with stuff like Kyros, which makes a real nice counterpart to Rebecca, which I very much appreciate. And we stayed there as well for OP-07, where we had the kind of leader with the crew all arranged behind them, which I think is pretty gosh darn cool. Really like the Vegapunk artwork for this one. And then in OP-08, we went back to pseudo manga heads. Same kind of art again, but remember, they're not actually from the manga. And now we're back to where we were in OP-05 with proper full-on manga heads. We've had a bunch of different ways that we do the alternate art leaders. I still find it weird that we've never gone back to the OP-03 style. I still think the OP-04 style is the best, and I don't know why we went from manga heads to pseudo manga heads back to full-on manga heads. I wish I had an answer for you. But we do know them all now, so let's have a look. We might as well start off with Nico Robin, because I don't know why not. I really like Nico Robin here. The manga artwork's all cool, the manga heads are all good. We don't need to comment too much on them, you'll see them on the screen as we go. But I do love the leader. We've got a purple-yellow leader, a Lakers leader, as some people like to call it. And we've got Banish. And then we've got Act, which is a really good skill. No trigger, no extra cards when you take life. Banish on the leader is nuts good. And then we've got, when attacking, you may trash a card with trigger from your hand to add a Don card from your Don deck rested. It is a really good leader. You ramp Don while also having Banish on your leader. I mean, it's just really good. Like, really genuinely good. There is a worry about hand size here when you're constantly trashing a card with trigger from your hand. So we need to be a little bit worried about that. But otherwise, this is a very cool leader, and one of which I am a very big fan. The other non-4 Emperors leader is Lim, and I'll tell you what, I really like the artwork on this. Of course, also worth pointing out, Manga Head for Lim is kind of interesting, because Lim isn't from the manga. Lim is from One Piece Odyssey, the video game. So having a Manga Head for Lim, which is a proper manga head, is actually super interesting to me. And I really want to like this leader. As of yet, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't think it's a great leader. It's got a massive downside. You know, whereas Nico Robin's just got Banish as a static skill, this has all of your characters come into play rested. Which, among other things, means every time you play a character, it's rested, and then your opponent just gets like a free turn to attack whoever they like. Generally speaking, you play a character and you can't attack with them this turn, but that's okay, because your opponent can only attack rested characters, so you can't use your character for a turn, but they're protected for a turn, so it works out all right. Except here they don't, because your opponent can immediately attack into any of them. It's honestly terrible. Now, we do have a really interesting skill here, whereby on your turn, once per turn, you may rest 3 Don, add a Don card from your Don deck rested, and play a 5-cost or lower Odyssey character from your hand. So you're basically paying 3 to get a 5-cost character, again, rested. Well, you're playing the character, but all your characters get played rested, so they obviously are played rested. And then you also get to ramp a Don, but the Don is rested, you can't use it till next turn. Interesting, worried it's not good enough. Now, Luffy is one that I like very much indeed, like the leader, like the artwork, it's awesome. And what we've got from Luffy here is a black and purple leader. Yes, all 3 leaders I've shown you so far are part purple. 3 of the 6 leaders in this set are part purple. Sorry. Compare that to green, for instance, where it's just part of Lim, and that's it, that's all you get. And yellow, which is part of Nico Robin, that's all you get. That's a little bit weird, ladies and gentlemen. That's a little bit weird. Hey-ho. And what we've got from Luffy here is a rather nice skill whereby Don X1, all of your characters get +1 cost. Of course, that means all these skills that remove based on cost are weaker against your characters, which is good. We've then got on your turn, once per turn, when you return 2 or more Don from your field to your Don deck, you add 2 Don from your Don deck, 1 active so it can be used immediately, and 1 rested. It replaces 2 Don, which is actually really nice. Plus it increases your cost, and I do think purple and black is a nice little colour combination. I think there is some potential here with this Luffy. Now, elsewhere in the 4 Emperors, we've got a mono black Blackbeard, or Marshall D. Teach, and I really like this one as well. This is a super interesting card for me. So mono black leader, 5,000 power, 5 life, and it says that none of your play skills activate. Not unlike Lim, we've got a static downside here. A downside which is on the card and always in use and not good. But then we've also got activate main, trash a card from your hand, none of your opponent's on-play skills activate either. Now, it is fair to say that your on-play skills never activate. You've got to trash a card from your hand to stop your opponent's. But then, by the same token, You make your deck knowing that you're not going to have access to play skills. Your opponent doesn't. And I think that's the massive, massive difference here. You're ready for it. Your opponent is not ready for it. I think this could be a super interesting, really fun leader. Buggy finally gets a leader here. And it's a mono blue leader, which, depending on the other cards we get in this set and in the future, could end up being really good. Because you've got mono blue leader, 5,000 power, 5 life, activate main, rest 5 Don, and trash a card from your hand. That's a lot. But you get to play a cross-skill card from your hand. Now, I would say for free, but it's not really for free because you're resting 5 Don and trashing a card from your hand. But you get to play a cross-skill type card from your hand. So in theory here, we get some really expensive cards, and then you can play them for free, and then jobs are good. And I really like this. This is one I have absolutely got my eye on. This one could be really, 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 really fun. And then finally, we've got Shanks. I want to like Shanks, but it's a mono red leader, and we've got activate main once per turn, or just once per turn. It's not really an activate main, it's a once per turn. When your opponent attacks, give their leader or one of their characters minus 1,000 power. I love that it's always working. Like, you're going to get use of this every single turn. Whereas a lot of the other skills we've seen here, you'll use a couple of times a game, maybe. Whereas this one, you are getting it every single turn. But it seems a little underwhelming. Like, compare it to Sanji. Now, full disclosure, when I was going through all the alternate art leaders in sets earlier, I didn't mention PRBO1, because there's only one, it's Sanji. When there's only one leader, I don't think that's really enough to make too much of a comment on. But I'm going to mention it now. It is a proper manga head. So technically, we went back to proper manga heads in PRBO1. It just so happened that was the only leader in there. But Sanji's got activate main once per turn. Give one of your 8 cost or lower characters that doesn't have an on-play skill rush. That I love. Absolutely adore. And I'm not going to be testing Shanks, like, unless somebody discovers this really broken build and then I have to kind of test it, right? I've not got my eye on testing Shanks because I want to play mono red, but I want to play Sanji, so hey ho. And you may be thinking, hang on a second, Wassy, some of those leaders looked a little bit familiar, while they should. This is the first image we saw of OP-09, right back when it was teased in a live stream many, many months ago. It's got the alternate arts of the 4 Emperor leaders. Same artworks. Those 4 images are the alternate arts of those 4 leaders in the set. We've zoomed in a bit for the leaders, but I find that super interesting that we were actually shown the alternate arts of these leaders, well, back in March, 4 months ago. 4.5 months ago, really, because it was right at the beginning of March. That's kind of cool, right? I cannot be the only one that thinks that's kind of cool. But I've told you this now, ladies and gentlemen. I've told you everything you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of the leaders you like the best. Tell me what your chase card of the set is. I really like the Limb, but I'm going to hold off until I've played One Piece Odyssey. Obviously, I also like the Nico Robin, but then I also really like the Luffy. I like all of them. I want all of them. And tell me what you think about having the true manga heads back, or whether you'd rather go back to, I don't know, OP-04. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.